If this is your first video in this series, here's a brief intro on cognitive biases. A human brain is a fascinating machine. It is estimated to have a memory of 1 petabyte, equivalent to over 1,000 1 TB hard drives. It is about 100,000 times more energy efficient than computers. But while the brain represents just 2% of a person's total body weight, it accounts for 20% of its energy use. So, to work efficiently, our mind generates some shortcuts and presumptions based on our experiences. Sometimes, these shortcuts are incorrect and cause harm. These are called cognitive biases. Cognitive biases are the limitations of our brain. Falling prey to them decreases our rationality and affects the effectiveness of our decision. This part will cover 5 biases. The 5th bias in this part can help you avoid procrastination. So, please watch it till the end. Before beginning our day, this series covers all the necessary details of each bias. But if you are interested in knowing further about any topic, let me know in the comment section. So let's start right now. Confirmation bias. The human understanding, when it has once adopted an opinion, draws all things to support and agree with it. This quote of Francis Bacon defines confirmation bias perfectly. We seek confirmation of our beliefs. In today's world, gathering information is extremely easy. Name any topic or any opinion and you can get information quickly on it. We get both supporting and opposing information on everything. But our mind focuses on the information that supports or confirms our beliefs. For example, if you think that Gujarati people are businessmen, you will undoubtedly think about Mukesh Ambani whenever we talk about Gujaratis. But there are other people from Gujarat who are not famous for business, like Narendra Modi, Mahatma Gandhi and Homi Bhabha, also known as the father of Indian nuclear program. You can avoid this bias by delaying opinion formation about any new topic or by being flexible with the opinions you have. In his book, The Rudest Book Ever, Shwetabh Gangwar tells us to believe that people are weird. The word weird tells us that people are complicated and sometimes they do unexplainable things. The other ways to think about the world is that people are stupid or people are amazing. Having any of these two views can cause you to find only stupidity or amazingness. And confirmation bias will force you to avoid the data contradicting them. The next bias is fundamental attribution error. Fundamental attribution error states that we assume that a person's actions depend on what kind of person they are, rather than on the social and environmental forces that influence the person. In simple words, you meet a person in an office meeting and they act professionally. You might start to believe that they are a mature and sincere person. It might be possible that they are immature and insincere in real life, but they are behaving professionally due to the meeting environment. It can be the other way around too. A person acting rudely with you may do it just because they faced a bad event before meeting you. Avoid this bias by keeping yourself in the other person's shoes and try to think about the reasons behind their action. Confirmation bias and fundamental attribution error can be jointly avoided by using the Hanlon's razor mental model. The link for that video is given in the description. You can watch it after this video. The next bias is negativity bias. Even when of equal intensity, things of a more negative nature have a more significant impact on our psychological state. This is negativity bias. Consider this case. You are in a committed relationship. Yay! We know that everyone has some admirable qualities and some flaws. But after a fight, we tend to find out the flaws of our partner. Another example. Before starting any new things, we tend to focus on all the expected failures. If we experience both positive and negative thoughts, we tend to remember the negative ones. You can avoid this bias by not being afraid of what could go wrong and thinking of what could go right. The next bias in our list is probably the leading cause of racism. It's the in-group bias. The in-group bias or in-group favoritism tells us that we tend to give favorable treatments to people that belong to the same group as we do. We presume that we are fair, but the truth is that we automatically favor people who are like us. Jin Yang and Yerodhanam conducted a study on kids to measure the effect of this bias. Kids were grouped into an orange and a green group. They told some of the kids that the grouping was based on some deep personality analysis, and others were told that the grouping was random. Then they conducted some activities. If you think that in-group favoritism was lesser in the randomly assigned group, then you are wrong. Children in both groups held equally strong in-group favoritism despite the reason they were told for their grouping. You can avoid this bias by trying to imagine yourself in the position of those who are not in your group and show empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand the feelings of others. Last but not least, the primary reason for procrastination: hyperbolic discounting bias or recency effect. Choosing a smaller, more immediate reward over a longer but delayed reward is called hyperbolic discounting. Discounting refers to the action of calculating the present value of future prices. Hyperbolic comes from the fact that we follow this graph when trying to find out the current value. Near or short-term rewards are considered as more important or valuable than future or long-term rewards. Examples of hyperbolic discounting are spending your excess income right now rather than saving it for the future, eating fast food today rather than working out to look great in summer, playing video games now rather than studying for the exams. Let's find out how to avoid this bias. The first step will be to break down big goals into small, manageable chunks. Then, consciously try to analyze your actions. Will you achieve your goals by doing this? If not, then avoid doing it. Send this video to your friends to help them too. So, the moral of the story is, please make an effort to challenge your thoughts from time to time. Remember that we don't always act ourselves in certain situations. Stop being afraid of what could go wrong and think of what could go right. Be empathetic to others. Try to choose actions with long-term rewards over short-term pleasures. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe for more videos.